Okay, so woe is me, because for the third week in the row, this herd has invaded my house. And this weekend, we're putting up tomatoes for canning and also going to make some spaghetti sauce, so stay tuned. Okay, so step one in this process of the way we can tomatoes is we scald the tomatoes in boiling hot water for about 2 to 3 minutes. And these have come out of that, so that's what they look like. Can't even tell they've been in the scalding water. And then my sister-in-law is going to reach in here and get one. She was waiting on me. And then Becky's just going to cut it in half where she can handle it. And you can actually see the skin wrinkling up. And the skin just peels off. And you do that so that way you don't waste so much of the, what I'm going to call the meat. Or the fruit, because tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable. I have learned that. And then we just quarter it up and put it in the bowl.
Now that we have scalded the tomatoes and peeled them and quartered them, now we have put them in a pot on the stove, and we are cooking them to put them in the jars. So we're having to wait for them to boil and cook down before we can do it.
So how long they gonna boil and cook down?
It's probably going to take about 15-20 minutes.
Okay, I've been banished to the garage again. So Frank, I know how you feel when Tina treats you like she does. That's the way Jackie's starting to treat me. So anyways, I've been banished to the garage and I've got another pot of tomatoes, but these here are just going to be stewed tomatoes that we'll pour over the top of rice or grits or put them in some other kind of recipe. Okay, so we're got the tomatoes that I done in the garage, and now they're putting them in the jar, but you see some white stuff in the bottom of the jar, so Jackie's going to tell you what that is.
We mix together a cup of canning salt and a cup of sugar and mix it well together, and then we put 2 teaspoons in a quart jar, and when we do pints we'll only do 1 teaspoon. We learned this from my grandmother. She told us that it makes the tomatoes better in the jar.
So there you have it. Okay, once we get the jars full, they're put in for a water bath, and once the water boils, the jars will sit for 10 minutes in the boiling water, then be taken out to cool. Okay, so we're done with the stewed tomatoes. We ended up with 25 quart jars and 15 pint jars. Alright, so here we're fixing to make this spaghetti sauce. So since all the women's inside, I've decided I'm going to come out here to the carport or to the garage, and I'm going to start boiling down these tomatoes, or stewing down these tomatoes to make the spaghetti sauce. And you can see here I just got a 20-pound propane cylinder and a cooker, so let's get started. Okay, so these tomatoes are in the pot. They've just been quartered up, and they're in their own juice. No water's been added. So we're going to get them started, and they will be stirred every between 5 and 10 minutes to just keep them from scorching at the bottom. So we'll keep them turned up till they start boiling.
Oregano. And
okay, now we're adding bell pepper, oregano, what else?
Sugar, brown sugar.
Sugar, brown sugar.
And oil.
What kind of oil?
Vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil. If you want the ingredients or the instructions, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the instructions. And it didn't take very long for this to start boiling, because there was a difference between doing it on the stove in the house and bringing it out here on this cooker. It's done about half the time, so you have to stay out here on top of this. So now this concoction together will take about how long to cook?
When we get it all going and it boils, then it's got to cook for an hour.
Okay, so then when it boils, it cooks for another hour. So does it stay boiling, or do you simmer it, or?
Yeah, that's how come you have to. It has to stay boiling. That's why you stir it every 10 minutes.
So an hour from now, stirring every 10 minutes or so, but as I said, this cooked a little bit faster, so it's going to be not 10 minutes, so then it should be done.
Okay.
Okay, so here Jackie's fixing to pour in some tomato paste, and that equals 6 12-ounce cans. So we're going to get that put in there to thicken it up some. And then we'll continue boiling and stirring.
I can't open it at work.
Okay, so we got the tomato paste in. And so we'll let it bring back to a boil and cook some more. Because as of right now, it's only been about 25 minutes for right now, so it's still got a way to go before it finishes cooking. Okay, so here we are, we're done with it. We're fixing to take it off the pot, or off the cooker, and take the pot inside the house. So this did cook for an hour after we added the concoction of stuff.
It doesn't look like it did when it went out there, does it?
Alright, so I've finished with that pot. This is the first time I've done it. Or ever fixed spaghetti sauce, and now my favorite mother-in-law is going to do the taste test. You can see the steam coming off of it. It's still hot. My sister-in-law already said it was okay. I'll see what my favorite mother-in-law says about me.
Well, you better taste it and see what you think. That is good.
Well, she's give it the approval, so she might just be nice to me because we're on camera, though. Okay, these jars just come out of the oven. That way they could get hot. And the lids and the rings are over there on the stove, because doing it this way and with this recipe, you don't have to do a water bath with the jars. Okay, so here Jackie's putting the tomato sauce, or spaghetti sauce, out of the pot and putting it into the jar. And you see she fills it right up to the bottom of the neck. Okay, so out of that big old pot of tomatoes that I done for spaghetti sauce, we ended up with 14 quart jars and 3 pint jars. Okay, this is our harvest out of our raised flower beds in the backyard. See, we've got 6 more burkless cucumbers and got our first Sweet 100 tomato. After weighing all the cucumbers we've picked so far, every other day it seems like we're averaging 3 pounds 8 ounces, but the number of cucumbers is getting smaller. For example, the first time we picked, we had 11 at 3.8 pounds. The next time we picked, we had 9 at 3.8 pounds, and now we've got 6 at 3.8 pounds, so they're growing faster. So instead of sliced tomatoes and sliced cucumbers, another way I like to eat them is dice them up, put them in a bowl, and then cover them with zesty Italian dressing. And boy, are they good. So that's the end of this video. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you're a new viewer and not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. If you're an existing subscriber, I thank you for viewing this video and just want to wish everyone a blessed weekend for what's left of it, and just ask God to continue blessing on your lives, and we'll catch you the next time.